The people on the front table said before it were staring at your backside. It's not a flattering image. So listen, your chairman just laid it plain. Your chairman just laid it plain. Over here in the back, you missed the chairman's words, he laid it plain. Over here in the corner over here, the chairman laid it plain. We know that this is not a fight over the facts. The facts are on our side. We know this is not a fight over the truth. The truth is on our side. Every time I turn on the TV, I hear a whole bunch of lies and misinformation. Here's another thing I'm going to say. We know this is not a fight over who has the best candidates. I don't know if you all heard Mitch McConnell even said, we have a candidate problem. This is not a fight over the best policies. When they have the White House, what do? They give tax cuts to the wealthiest people. When we had the White House, what did Biden do? He capped insulin costs. What did Biden do? He lowered healthcare costs. What did Biden do? He saved our small businesses. What did Biden do? He expanded the earned income tax credit. What did Biden do? He brought in the child tax credit. We know what their priorities are. One group is attacking public school teachers. One group is defending them and thinks we should raise their pay. One group is attacking unions. Our group is saying unions is what built America. One group is attacking women's rights. The other group is get your bands off our bodies. So this we know. Oh, wait a minute, hold on now, because I didn't come here to tell you what you know. I came here to challenge you. How are we doing in the back over here? How are we doing? I came to challenge you by the door. I came to challenge you. My brother, I came to challenge you all. Okay? So here's the challenge. Let me steal your chair. Here's the challenge. Here's the challenge. I hope you have insurance, because I might fall. I know the Pennsylvania Democratic Party has insurance. Here's the challenge. Martin Luther King said the challenge. Martin Luther King said the challenge. This is his challenge to us. He said, what we're going to have to repent for, what we will as a people have to repent for ultimately, it's not the vitriolic words and violent actions of the bad people. It's the appalling silence and inaction of the good people. That's the challenge. That's the challenge. I know right now there are all the votes we need to win, Jeremy.
Right.
I know it. I know. I just left to have the DNC Jamie. He and I used to have these beautiful afros. Lush afros, man. And Jamie said the whole race in Pennsylvania, the polls are locked. It's going to come down to turnout. So this is the request I have, Chairman, and then I'm giving you back the microphone. I want to talk to you all about 10 years ago on this day. I don't know if anybody knows this, today is the 10-year anniversary of something. It's the 10-year anniversary of the most savage storm New York and New Jersey ever had. Hurricane Sandy. Now let me tell you something. In my city, people died. Let me tell you something. Not supporting first responders. Our police and firefighters, when their own homes were flooding, were out saving other people. Let me tell you something I learned though. And this is about you all. Everyone here should think about this person I'm about to talk about. I'm on the night that it came in, what would have been last night 10 years ago, I am out in the storm, driving I'm not driving, but I'm in an SUV with two great detectives from the Newark Police Department. The wind is blowing our car, and suddenly, Chairman, I know you've had this experience, suddenly my phone rings. I answer my phone. And please forgive my language now, but I am telling you, the person who's on the other end asks me the stupidest question. I thought it was the stupidest question I've ever heard in America. The man on the other end of the phone, he says to me, "Hi, this is the White House operator. Will you hold for the President of the United States of America?" I'm like, who says no to that? I miss Obama, and I miss her husband too. Michelle! And so this was Michelle's husband on the phone. As the storm is coming in, the President of the United States is calling a local mayor from the Oval Office to check in on our city. It was a powerful human moment. It may have been like a 5 or 6 minute phone call, but I was really moved. And as soon as I hung up with him, my phone rings again, and I answer it, and now it's the governor of my state. This is not a time for partisanship, it's a time for purpose. It's not a time for partisanship, it's a time for people. And he's just checking in on them, and checking in on the city of New York, and I feel moved by that as well. I just talked to the president and the governor. And then I get to a hill. I hang up with the governor, and at the top of the hill, in the dark of the night, I see a floodlight flashing frantically at my car. And the 2 police officers slow down, and as we get closer, we see at the top of the hill all the telephone poles and all the trees had come crashing down. It was a terrible mess of wire and wood. And my officers, we would have stopped anyway, but this guy stops us. And my guys roll up, so my window was right there, and I roll down the window. And I look at this man, it's an elderly man, in a yellow raincoat, holding his big floodlight. And I apologize, I admit, it was my elder, but I yelled at him. And I look at this man and I go, "What are you doing out here?" And then he looks at me, as if I just asked him the stupidest question in America. He points at the wire and the wood and the danger. And he goes, "Mayor, this is so dangerous. I'm standing out here to make sure no one comes along and gets hurt." I had just talked to the President of the United States of America. I had just talked to the governor of my state. I'm the mayor of the largest city in the state. But the greatness I best saw exhibited on that night 10 years ago was the man standing on a hill with a bright light in the dark night in a savage storm to look after his fellow Americans. That's why I'm here, Democrats. That's why I'm here. Because this election is not going to turn on who the president is that spoke to you yesterday. This election is not going to turn on who the governor is or how many New Jerseyans come in here and try to run for office. This election is not going to turn on those things. This election will ultimately turn on you, on where you stand. Because there's a storm in America. There's a storm sweeping through right now that's trying to gin up hate, trying to turn neighbor against neighbor. Look what happened to Nancy Pelosi's husband yesterday. The violence is on the rise. There is a storm in our midst. The rights we earned decades ago are being stripped by us by a radical court. There's a storm in our midst. Public schools are under assault. Healthcare is under assault. They want to privatize Social Security. There's a storm in our midst. But the storm does not threaten you. The wind and the rain should know that we are the storm. And the question is, no matter how they try to prevent us, if they try to bury us, we become a seed and grow great fruit. If they try to push us back, we push back. If they try to defeat us, we know what a great poet said. They try to write me down in history with your bitter, twisted lies. You trying to trot us down in the very dust. But still, we rise.